this is going to be controversial, but it's probably Nick Kyrgios.
No, also for me.
No, I love how he plays. I don't like his attitude.
He's unique.
What
is the darkest memory that you have from tennis? Like the most frustrated that you've been, the worst loss that you've ever had? Directly when you win or lose the point, you feel the emotion of happy or sad, whatever it is. You might be angry, you might be sad because you lost the point, because you're human and you cannot ignore the feeling that you have when you win or lose the point. So you have to feel it. Anyways, whatever it is. And then start to focus on your breathing so you calm your heart rate down.
Mit Kamerakuh
on podcast. Bier, ja, mit Bier. Nächstes Mal mit Bier. So, Sebastian, welcome back to the podcast. Thanks so much. It's a pleasure having you here, man. We're here in the tennis court here in Hürde Club, unser Lieblingsverein.
Klar.
Yeah, and just before you went to, where are you going now? To Barcelona?
Barcelona, yeah.
Yeah, and then we were like, okay, let's make the most out of it and record another episode. And talk about tennis stuff now.
Yeah.
Now it's time for tennis.
Great chance. Thanks for having me.
So, for the people that don't know, please give a short introduction about yourself and say how you got familiar with tennis, what made you start, and what was the beginning journey for you in tennis?
Yeah. I first got in touch with tennis actually at a fairly young age. So I did play tennis for, I'm not sure to be honest how long, for let's say for 1.5, 2 years when I was younger. And so I played earlier, had some like summer camps when I was little.
How old were you when you started?
Exactly? I'm not sure. It might have been like 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm not sure exactly.
Approximately.
Yeah, but I remember I never had a proper racket. So I only played with like the smaller rackets. I never had. Maybe I was even younger than that because I never had a full-size racket. So it was like that young.
Okay.
Maybe it's younger. I'm not sure, but.
Okay, and how did it go from then? Did you keep on continuing? Go ahead.
Yeah. So I remember back then, already at that age, I was like ambitious. I remember I played some club tournament.
Yeah.
I always got beat by people that trained more often. I only played once a week and never played more than that training session. And also at the time I played basketball as well.
Yeah.
I remember compared to basketball, tennis was really frustrating for me.
Why do you think tennis is more frustrating compared to basketball?
I think if you compare tennis to basketball, so first of all, when you play basketball, there are 4 other people on the court, then you can blame it on if you lose.
Yeah.
In tennis, it's really just you.
Yeah.
So that's first.
It's all you.
It's just you, yeah. And second of all, basketball is less technical than tennis. So of course there's technique in basketball as well. You need to learn how to dribble, you need to learn how to pass, you need to understand the game. Maybe you remember plays. But in tennis, there's really a much higher barrier for you simply just to play with one another. Like, I'm not even saying against one another, but just keeping the ball in play is a challenge when you first start out, especially at a young age, I feel like.
What do you think are the main challenges when someone starts to play tennis that is more difficult compared to other sports? Why do you think it's a bit more challenging at the beginning? People think that it's a hard sport.
I think first of all, it's maybe if you think about soccer or basketball, I think the movements are a bit more intuitive. At least basketball, I mean, it's just holding something in your hand.
And just bouncing
right. And you're also touching the ball. In tennis, you're not touching the ball. In soccer, you're also please excuse I say soccer. I'm going to keep saying soccer, but there's no way I
think only you have a dirty mind a little bit, but...
People are going to understand. Also in soccer, you're kind of touching the ball directly.
The feel is
direct. Yeah, you get instant feedback. Exactly. And then with tennis, you have another object that actually touches the ball. So it's not directly connected to your body. And
one moment. One wind. It's windy a little bit here out in Germany. The weather, we're supposed to be having a sunny day today, but as you can see, there is not so much sun here, and we have to make the most out of it in the middle of summer, but the weather is not looking so much like summer, so excuse us.
Yeah, so I think it's just the fact that it's not very transferable. So most people, when they start playing tennis, they've never done anything unless you've played with another racket sport. It's just not very intuitive. So that's the first thing. You're not in contact with the ball. I think that's hard.
Yeah.
And then second of all, as I just said, I don't think it's intuitive in the sense that when people think of tennis, when they see it, they think you hit the tennis ball from down to up.
Yeah.
In order to get this typical like
motion
shape of the ball, they see the ball flying in a circular motion.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, I need to hit it from down to up. And
Exactly.
They usually hit it with a very open racket.
Open racket, exactly. Like
but
badminton. Like badminton.
Yeah, like badminton maybe.
Badminton is more intuitive.
Badminton is more intuitive because it doesn't have the spin element.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the ball doesn't travel a lot. Like when you hit the ball,
Yeah.
it's like maximum it goes 6-7 meters, I guess, right?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
10
yeah.
meters.
Yeah.
But if you hit
Something
a
like
tennis ball really hard, it's gonna go somewhere.
Yeah, it's gonna go.
It's gonna bounce really hard. It's from rubber. Right? Yeah, you're right. So basically, first the person has to get a connection with the racket,
Right.
and then the racket with the ball, and to connect them all together to get a feeling of how to connect them all together compared to basketball or football. That it's just more intuitive, and you can just either shoot the ball with your leg, kick the ball, or just throw the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And also, I think like many sports have more of a physical element. I mean,
Yeah.
at the elite level, tennis is extremely physical.
Yeah.
But at the beginner level, usually the physical aspect is not the issue because the ball's not in play for as long.
Exactly.
So when you play soccer, it's a physical sport. You can like push other people.
Yeah.
You do a lot of running, a lot of sprinting.
Sprints,
And
yeah.
the ball is, most of the time, the ball is in play.
Exactly.
In tennis, you have more breaks when serving, when changing
Exactly.
sides. There
Exactly.
are breaks all in between.
Exactly.
And yeah, I think that's another reason. So you can't just win tennis by being fit. You actually need to learn the technique.
Learn the technique.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, first question. We talked about you started early, but what made you start playing tennis?
So I think at the young age, I think my parents just signed me up for a tennis club.
Yeah.
So I don't remember at least consciously saying, hey, I want to play tennis.
Yeah. Did they have any tennis background themselves?
My mom had none, and my dad played a little tennis during his university times.
Yeah.
But he was never an actual club player, never learned it from child's age. So
Okay. So you don't think there was a special reason that they wanted?
No,
Just,
no special
it's a
reason.
sport, just go and try.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I know I kind of had it in my blood, basically. My dad, in his college years, he used to play tennis. And then my brother started playing tennis, and he took me to tennis. And in his trainings, I was 10 years old, 11. Then I picked up a racket, started playing. He didn't continue. I continued playing on tennis. And now we're here.
Interesting.
16 years later. What
And you've been playing 16 years consistently.
No, but from the moment I started.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, technically consistently, but not in a professional level.
Yeah.
Until I was 13, 14, no. And then it got a bit more professional. For someone that is starting to play tennis, do you have any tips on, for example, any tips at the beginning that what this beginner player should focus on mainly so they would have a smoother learning process? Do you have anything in your mind, and you can take your time and think about it?
If you don't mind, I'll quickly just add that I only played for like little time when I was younger, maybe 2 years, only with small racket, never learned how to serve, never learned how to properly play backhand or anything like that, at least not that I remember. And I properly started playing again about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't feel qualified to answer everything with a professional background that you have.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just my experience. So
yeah, just tell it from your own perspective
right.
and what you feel from your own point of view.
Right. I think for a beginner, one thing that's very important is expectation management.
Oh, yes.
So you shouldn't start playing tennis.
Yeah.
If I start playing tennis, I'll immediately be able to like hold a rally with a friend of mine who's also never played tennis.
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen. So it's easiest to play with someone that has experience.
Yeah.
That can help you keep the ball in play.
Yeah.
And I would really recommend to just take a few introductory tennis lessons.
Yeah.
And then see how you like it.
Yeah.
Because if you just start on your own, you might get frustrated. You might not know what you're doing wrong. You might just repeat the same mistakes. You might just hit the ball over the net, over the fence, God knows. It's easier to just get a few introductory lessons.
Exactly.
Have someone show you the basics, and then you can decide if you want to continue or try it on your own.
Exactly. If I want to add something to that, at the beginning, it's very important. You don't need to necessarily have a coach for the rest of your life, but at least until you learn the basics, it would really make the process more enjoyable and smoother.
Yeah.
And then after you learn the basics of forehand, backhand, serve, and all the fundamentals of how to rally, then after that, then you're on a good path and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Say throughout your whole player career, name 2 of your favorite coaches and say why they were your favorite coaches in your point of view. You have to name 2. And you don't have to even think about, okay, I have to say something good about Mazi here.
No, actually, it's quite easy because, as I said, I don't remember many of my lessons when I was younger.
Yeah.
I remember my coach when I was younger did not have a great image, so people didn't think much of the coach. I'm not going to say the name, but they didn't think much of the coach, most people, because it was just like fun training, but there was no attention to technique. It was just like rallying and just like kids tennis and just play and have fun. So I don't feel like, even though this might be false, but I feel like there's not much I took from that, except for maybe get some feel for how a ball flies. But I mean, that is like 15 years in between the first time playing and second time playing. And then the coach I had after that, her name is Aliana. And she taught me, the first time she taught me backhand. I was never able to play backhand. So when I picked up a racket and wanted to play in between, as I said, didn't play in a club, but I was never able to play backhand. And she taught me backhand and I felt immediate improvement. So she was definitely coach number 2. And you're coach number 1. Honestly. So I haven't had many coaches, not to discredit you, but to be fair, I didn't have many coaches. Ariana's number 2. I've had training with her for maybe 1.5 years. But I loved your training. I remember first time I saw you. It was way more athletically challenging. It was very, very intense, which I liked. There was attention to technique. And I think you brought some really refreshing points to the training.
Das freut mich zu hören. Das freut mich zu hören. Yeah, very happy to hear that, really. Yeah, thank you. I don't know why. Ciao, Sabine, we see us. When? Monday. Schönes Wochenende. So, Sabine, one of my favorite people of the club. She's such a nice character. She's such a bomb of energy every time. Really, really. Like every time that I see her, I honestly, like, she brings a smile and a vibe and an energy, you know?
That's good.
Yeah. And she has one of those cute laughs that when she laughs, you also want to laugh.
It's like contagious, like Corona.
It's contagious. It's contagious. Okay, back to the topic, so we don't want to make it too long. What do you think helps your tennis the most? Throughout the years that you've practiced, you've played a lot. When do you think was a time that changed a little bit your level and helped you go to the next level?
Yeah, so when I first started playing tennis again, which was around maybe 22 years old, around that time, when I played again, I really didn't know much. So I took beginner lessons and I felt like in the beginning, first days, weeks, you progress very quickly, and then it starts to get harder. But after about a year of training, I started signing up for tournaments already, even though I mean, I was not very good. I mean, I even have some videos of me playing my first tournament. It was not good. But I think this is what really made me improve the quickest in the shortest amount of time. It's just jumping in the cold water. I mean, just throwing yourself into the thing.
Tournaments.
Yeah, tournaments. Because it's actual practice. It's very different playing on a training court, just hitting balls down the line, having a partner that plays friendly with you.
Exactly.
And then in the tournament, there's another pressure that you just don't get from
another atmosphere.
Yeah, another pressure. And this is what helped me improve the most. This is where I saw the quickest improvement. It's just playing
tournaments, competitive tournaments, and how often,
even at a beginner level, because many people are shy to do it when they think, I'm not good enough, I'm going to wait half a year, I'm going to wait a year.
It's too early.
Then they never play, and then they just never play,
They think it's too early, and they never start. And how for a beginner player, how often do you think competing in tournaments is going to help them improve?
Oh, I mean, I think this is very personal.
No, what do you...
So, in my opinion, as often as your body can, and as often as you're having fun. That's probably the most important. So, when I first started playing tournaments, I got addicted. I think I played... In the summer season, I must have played a tournament at least every weekend. Some weekends passed where I didn't play one. Some weekends went by where I played Saturday and Sunday.
So, if your body can manage it... every week, and as long as I would also
fun and you have the money. I mean,
if you have the money, I mean, entry fee, it's not so cheap sometimes, but
especially winter season is pretty bad. Because you play the indoor courts.
Indoor courts, you have to pay for the indoor courts. But as long as these are not an issue, and if laziness is the reason that you're not getting in there, or fear, that's definitely not something you should be thinking about. As long as you're having fun and you have the right mindset of knowing how exactly you want to approach the tournaments and how much fun you want to have, how much of a positive mindset you want to have when you go and play. So I've seen a lot of players that they start playing tournaments and they start hating tennis, because they get frustrated because they go into playing tournaments with the wrong mindset and with a very high level of expectation. And they expect to win. They expect to perform in a way that they have no idea how tennis is.
Yeah.
Like how long it takes for you to understand the game, the complex game. And then they go in the tournament in a match with the false expectations and they end up losing. And then they lose their drive for tennis. So as long as you're having fun and having the right mindsets for it.
Then play as much as you want. Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah, sure. Every week.
Every week. Yeah. In the tournaments that you played, how do you manage pressure? How do you manage stress and pressure in tough moments or tough points? Do you have a special routine that you go to or something like this?
Oh, wow. I'm actually not that big of a routine person. I know many professionals have a routine, for example, service routine, or some even might have a routine when they're pressured. I know Federer has like a 15-second rule or something. You can correct me on this.
25.
25.
I think it's 25 seconds.
I heard something has like a rule how he calms himself down.
Yeah.
I don't have anything like this.
So basically the rule it goes something like this. The number exactly differs because we're also training with the players and we're trying to make it shorter because technically between every point, if I'm not mistaken, right now it's 25 seconds that you have time. But we're trying to practice it with the players to do the same routine in 15 seconds.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So to do it in a shorter time. Is that... Ah, shit. Ja, nächstes Mal.
The stereotypes are true. I mean,
Yeah,
we're in
it's
Germany.
true.
Yeah.
We're in Germany. We have to have a beer in our hand. Like, man, what are we doing? I mean, but alcohol free because, I mean, in the tennis court we need to have these.
Of course.
I mean, I don't know.
Of course.
We're in Germany. So with the 25-second rule is that first you feel the emotion, happy or sad, because sometimes we get too excited when we win a point and then we stay in that excited mood and then we go to the next point and we're still excited about the amazing forehand that we hit.
We're not focused.
Not focused. Yeah. So happy or sad, you feel it for 5 seconds. And then 10 seconds, you focus on deep breathing. So you calm your heart rate down. Because if you have a high heart rate, you're not going to be able to perform properly. And then after this, you're going to start imagining and rehearsing your game plan, your strategy for that point. So this routine gives you the highest probability to perform the best.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Especially in pressure points.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the routine, but you were saying something about, do you have any kind of routine?
I don't know. I was saying that I've heard people have these kind of routines, but most of the time, even though I am very ambitious, I really try to manage my expectations. So I don't often feel this pressure. I mean, you might have a match point. For the most stressful situation I can imagine is, I even played a tiebreak in the last tournament.
Yeah.
It was a really, really close match.
Yeah.
I was down 10-9. He was serving.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this might be it. But I mean, there's nothing you can do. So actually, for me, trying to forget the score is better than acknowledging, oh, this is match point. So I might do something the opposite of what people might do when they think. For example, many people are like, oh, this is match point. I'm going to put extra effort into this forehand. I'm going to be extra careful to hit this. Like, I do the exact opposite. I just try to not think about anything and just approach it as if it were any other serve and just try to hit it back as normal as possible.
I think that's the best way to go for it, because that's how you stay in the moment and not focus on the future. And you're literally, that's the best way to approach it.
Okay.
No, really, really it is, because if you think, oh my God, it's a big point, I have to do something different. Yeah. You focus on winning or losing or playing good or playing bad.
Yeah.
And when you start focusing on playing good or bad, you focus on what you lose focus on what you actually have to focus on, which is the tactic that you have.
Right.
The strategy that you have for the points.
Right.
For example, the tip that you need to focus on, for example, net clearance is going to be my tactic.
Right.
Just going heavy with a high margin over the nets is going to be my tactic for this game. Not to, okay, I want to hit a beautiful forehand. I want to hit a big forehand.
I'm going to have to hit a winner here. Even though you don't even know the serve. So it's very situational. Also, I don't feel like this is a good, I mean, I'm not, who am I to speak, but...
come on. You're a good player. Come on.
I feel like it's in general not a great... Having a strategy is important, but having the shot in mind is not helpful because you don't know where he's going to serve.
Exactly.
So saying, I'm going to hit a winner here, even if it's your match point, you're like, I'm going to hit a winner here.
Yeah.
That's not a good idea, I feel like, because you don't know whether it's going left, right, high, low, fast, slow.
That's true. Yeah. That's pretty true. Winning or losing a point and sticking to your routine, whatever it might be.
Focusing on what I can control, obviously.
Focusing on what you can control and not on something that is out of your control. Exactly. I think I would totally agree. Okay. What was the best moment in your tennis career that you remember? The best tennis match, the most delightful or pleasant win of your tennis career that you still remember?
I mean, I'll never forget this. As I mentioned before, I was in South Korea for half a year, and I played a lot of tennis there. They played only doubles, which was really different for me. I had the chance to play in some tournaments there, and I actually won one of them.
Nice.
And the entire Korean club was kind of like rooting for me, because like, what the heck is the foreigner doing here? Like, who is this guy? Why is he so tall?
Sebastian. Sebastian.
So yeah, no, that was a very tense final we had. I actually had a really good partner, so he definitely helped me win. But
nice.
Yeah, that was probably the best moment. Like,
you don't have any videos of this, right?
I do.
Then we could let's take a look at the video of them celebrating.
Yeah, and I think the price was like a 20-kilogram bag of rice. No, obviously I couldn't neither eat nor prepare all of this. So I sold the bag of rice to the nearest Korean, and I had a nice dinner with that. Yeah, really.
So
there's a picture of me,
if you win a tournament in South Korea, the prize of that tournament specifically was a bag of rice.
A really big one.
A big one.
And good rice.
Rice
is not rice. It's not
a
all
good rice.
Good rice. Not all
are
created.
What did you do with the rice?
The rice, I sold the rice to a very interested and happy Korean buyer.
For how much?
I don't remember.
It doesn't matter.
Maybe I don't know, but it was definitely like $50 or something. It was more than enough for a good dinner. So
okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, maybe it's good, but I can't recall any super bad memories. So there's no tennis memory I had that kept me up at night.
Have you ever broken a racket?
No.
Okay, good.
Oh, but I mean, I did once for fun. It's a very old racket. It's not like it was my playing racket or something.
No. I mean, in the match, like getting frustrated.
No.
Okay, good.
No,
good.
no one
should
for that. I can't afford to.
Yeah, it's too expensive. No, and it's
a hassle. I would have to string another racket.
Exactly. Like, why would you break something so nice? Yeah.
No. Yeah.
What is your favorite surface to play on?
Wow, my favorite surface. It's actually hard court.
Hard courts.
And that's straight tarmac.
Nice. Why is it your favorite court?
Because first of all, it's very predictable. If you have a nice tarmac court, it's very, very predictable. You don't get weird bounces. Also, the line plays exactly like the surface itself.
Yeah, it doesn't slide on the line.
Yeah, it's just the same as the rest of a court.
Exactly.
It's just painted on.
Exactly. On clay, when it's on the line, blah.
Yeah, you might get some weird bounces. It might skid because it's more slippery.
Yeah.
You might even trip over one, like if you have a very bad clay court.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that it's easy to change direction. So on a clay court, I would consider myself a fast player, like in the sense that I'm good at running.
Yeah.
But changing direction on a clay court can be quite tough.
Yeah. You slip and slide.
Yeah, because you slip and slide. So I like the fact that I'm agile on tarmac, on hard court. Yeah.
Okay.
You have better grip. It's easier to change left and right. Yep.
Okay.
What about you? What's your favorite surface?
For me, also hard court.
Hard court?
Yeah, because I can
You played in Canada? You just played hard court,
no. In ITF tournaments that we were playing. In Iran, it's mainly clay courts. In Canada, it's...
Probably because of the heat. I don't want to play on tarmac when it's 40 degrees out.
Probably. But I mean, in Iran, it's like there's not so much... We had like a water crisis as well. So in Iran also, most of the courts are clay. But I guess maybe in the next 10 years, they're going to
maybe they're going to change because like water is scarce and would be
Water
easier.
is scarce a little bit. And it would be way easier if we switch to hard court tennis courts.
Yeah. Or maybe even like fake grass, kind of artificial grass with some sand on. It's very popular. Have you ever been in the Netherlands playing? They're like all the outdoor courts. I've never seen clay courts.
Grass?
It's like 80%, you want to say carpet with sand, I guess. And this was somewhat common in Korea too. I barely ever played on clay there.
And how was it?
Decent. Yeah, you get some like low bounces compared to clay, because I feel like there's more connection. I guess the ball grips harder. Maybe it doesn't bounce as high. But yeah, it's fine.
Okay, easy.
And very easy to maintain. I mean...
Yeah, nice. Yeah, also, favorite player of all time?
Favorite player of all time?
One. Come on. Who's your most favorite in your mind? 3, 2, 1.
It's Federer.
Federer, obviously, Roger.
Yeah. I wanted to think of someone else, but I mean, not gonna lie, Number two is in every sense, I guess.
Yeah.
But I love his serve. I love the spin he creates on his forehand.
Wow,
also striking backhand. Yeah, this guy's super nice. I mean, how can you serve like this? He's tall, but it's not like he's Zverev tall or what's the name, Isner. Like,
exactly.
He's not that tall.
Yeah, he has crazy power.
Yeah, crazy power.
And also crazy touch.
Yeah.
Like the shots that he comes up with, I've never seen any other player hit these shots, man.
Yeah.
Never, ever. And that's why he's so special, you know? But Federer, he's like so smooth.
Elegant. It looks effortless. Like, yeah.
Okay. Okay, man. Sebastian, it was a pleasure having you. We're here in Hurde Club at the R2S Tennis Academy here. And you're also one of the former team members of the R2S Tennis Academy. But now your journey is going to take you to Spain. And I wish you all the best.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, man.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
That's a wrap.